In section 3, you will see that there is activity 1 and summative assessment task 3. So for activity 1, you are going to look at the position overview and an explanation of what will be required by the person who is applying for the job. So a position overview is a list of what roles and responsibilities an ECD practitioner will have if they were the successful candidate that got the job. So you need to make sure that when you complete the motivation that they are asking you to complete, that you list your experience in ECD and you list your qualifications in ECD. Please be careful not to list anything that is based on your own opinion of yourself in a role as an ECD practitioner. For this activity, you need to motivate why you would be the correct person for this job, but you need to make sure that you are stating facts and not opinion. Then you will be required to complete an interview do's and don'ts table based on the video that you're going to watch. So for the interview do's and don'ts, create a table where you list the interview do's that you see in the video, and you also list the interview don'ts that you see in a video. You can also base this on your own experience in going for an interview as an ECD practitioner, and you can even use the example of when you went through the interview process for the level 4 training. You had to go through an interview with different people from Early Inspiration, and you can draw from your own experience of the correct way to behave in an interview versus an incorrect way. So you can complete this table based on the video that is provided for you, but you can also use your own experience in you yourself attending interviews and the things that you did prior to the interview, the things that you did during the interview, and the things that you made sure you didn't mention in the interview. Then for summative assessment task 3, yourself and a peer will need to complete a dialogue role play on one person being the principal and the other person being the person who is applying for a job as an ECD practitioner. So based on the guidelines that have been given for this activity, you will see that there is different headings. So the different headings give different questions or give different information on what can be gathered from the person that you are interviewing. So you would look at personal questions. So those questions would be questions that relate to the person as an individual themselves, that has got nothing to do with them as a practitioner, but them as an individual and what's important to them. And then we're looking at skills and qualities. Skills and qualities is the skills that they require to do the job and the qualities that they also need to possess to be able to do the job. So for example, empathy is a quality that an ECD practitioner will need to possess because she will be working with children, or he will be working with children from different backgrounds. Then we're looking at the ECD center. So the ECD center is specific to the ECD center that you are using in the role play. So that would be questions relating to the specific ECD center where you are trying to gain information on how the person will fit in at the ECD center. Then about the job. About the job is the specific information that you need to gather whether the person is suitable for the role. Also, something that needs to be included in this dialogue and interview plan is questions that the practitioner will ask the principal to gather more information on the job that they are applying for. So there's two elements that need to be covered in the summative assessment task. The first element is the interview plan. So for the interview plan, you will be looking at what resources are required to do the interview, who are the people that are in the interview. So it would be the principal and the person's name and the applicant and their name, and then the questions that you have identified from the list, and also questions that yourself and your partner have identified to ask. So please make sure that you include questions from all of the headings. And then as part of the evidence, you will need to also include the dialogue. So that is the question that was asked and the response. So if the principal is asking the question, for example, what motivates you in your personal life, in your dialogue, you will include how the person or the applicant answered that question. So please make sure that in your pair or your team that you meet all of the criteria for the dialogue, and you make sure that you include questions from all of the different headings.